Welcome in, LSU fans, to another edition of the Bengal Tiger podcast. My name is Bryce Coon alongside Matthew Bruni. And Bruni, I guess for the first time since fall camp, I'm joining you on the Not a Monday Mailbag podcast.
Yes. Hope Shay, our good pal Shay, is a little under
Good.
the weather right now.
Was that
So
intentional, by the way? The good
everybody,
pal?
good pal. It wasn't. It wasn't. That's credit to our other good pal Billy Embody for that one. So but yeah, Shay's a little under the weather. So hopefully he's all good for this weekend's big game against Southeastern. But until then, Bryce is filling in. So
Yeah.
welcome, Bryce,
I'm
to the
excited.
Mailbag podcast.
I'm excited. We got some great questions, including our final question. Will be a little awkward, but it'll be fun. No, hey, but look, let's first off, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you check out everything we got going on over the Bengal Tiger. You can do that $1 for your first week, and you get a free annual subscription on top of that after that first week is over to The Athletic. It's a great deal to partner with, and we're pumped to partner with them all football season long. So, Bernie, I guess we start here with the Mailbag podcast by not diving into the mailbag first off. Let's talk about Garrett Nussmeier and this injury. I have had a lot of people ask me about this. I'm sure you have as well, just in terms of our show on Sunday night. We proposed the hypothetical. Well, what if he is hurt? Like, what does that mean? And, I kind of went into it, I said, well, let's play the hypothetical that he's not. Yeah. It's really kind of, and I'll kick it off to you here. To me, it explains a lot. In terms of what we've seen out of him, especially the Louisiana Tech game. It explains the strategy that they have with Brian Kelly's, even to his level of, of how defensive he has been, about the way he is utilized and managed games. Like it or not, if that is true in terms of how severely limited Nussmeier is in being able to throw the football at full range of motion, I guess I started right here, man. It kind of makes sense in terms of what we've seen, and maybe even gives a pass a little bit to the lack of consistency that we've seen on Nussmeier.
Yeah, and I don't even think it needs to be substantial. I don't even think it needs to be like a serious injury, which Brian Kelly tried after he said the injury. He multiple times tried to like downplay it a little bit, like, oh, he's fine during games and stuff. It's like, okay, well, even if it's like a very minor inconvenience for him, it's something that you think about while you're throwing the ball. It's something that you feel even in the slightest sense, maybe when you throw the ball 1 out of every, 4 times, let's just say. But like, it's in your head at that point. So when you see Garrett Nussmeier, who we saw, like we said on the Sunday podcast, we've seen him make all the throws in the world. We've seen him make, throws 50, 60 yards down the field against Louisiana Tech when he has a receiver running open, 40 yards down the field, and he underthrows it by like 10 yards.
Yeah.
I've never really seen that. We've been out to practice. We've seen him in practice and games. I mean, in warm-ups. I can't remember the last time I've ever seen him underthrow a ball that badly. And so that was like the weird one to me. And then, because obviously he's had flashes of the anticipation throws that we know and love, like the big time throws. He's still throwing it like from the far hash to like the other sideline at times.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying it happens like consistently. I'm not saying any of that. But even if it is like a minor tweak with his abdominal, like that stops you from turning all the way or anything like that, it's substantial. So that's why we kind of, everybody, not just us, everybody was like, he doesn't look 100% right when he's throwing the ball. And now, Brian Kelly basically confirms it.
Yeah, and I saw some hypotheticals, and I think it was on our message board. People were talking about this. Either it was this morning or Monday right after he said it. We're recording this on Tuesday evening, by the way. That maybe they tried to ramp him up because the injury supposedly happened in fall camp. This was, and I think everyone, they thought of injury in fall camp, they thought, when he nearly had his leg amputated per different sources of that. But maybe that explains why he didn't throw in that final scrimmage that we watched.
What I was thinking of as
that's what I thought about first. I was like, okay, well, people were like, well, how does a knee affect like planting? Well, if your abdominal, and once again, man, I don't know if we can get on the payroll, but this would be a perfect opportunity for my wife to come in and talk about this kind of stuff. Like, well, how does that affect you as the physical therapist in the family? But no, I mean, dating back to that showed me, Bruni, that they really knew they needed him near full capacity for Clemson. And he did what he could do there and was locked in, finished 11-11 in that game. And then against Louisiana Tech, just didn't look great and looked off. I think that's the biggest thing. He just looks off. This explains it.
You know what
This
else
explains it.
we can hypothesize? I think in all 3 games they've gotten off to slow starts as in terms of the passing attack, and then in the second half and like second quarter through fourth, he like warms up almost, and then it's like, oh wow, okay, against Clemson, great second half. Against Louisiana Tech, second and third quarter, great. Against Florida, second and third quarter, great. Like it's just, I don't know how far we're gonna take this in terms of like how much credit or we're gonna give the injury against actually like Nuss missing throws because as a driver of a Nuss bus, I can admit he misses some throws. He missed some throws last year. Like it happens. It's I watch Caleb Williams for the
missing.
Yes, like I've seen plenty of quarterbacks miss throws, but Garrett Nussmeier usually has. You can tell he has some pop on his throws, and he hasn't really had that this year as much. So, it's just really interesting. I'm interested to see how much. Now you get to the second part of it is what do they do with him against Southeastern?
Yeah.
Brian Kelly basically said, at least on Monday, he didn't give any indication that he was going to be, sat out for that game. But I don't know. What do you think?
I'm going to throw back to you. How much do you weigh he needs to play and get into a rhythm and show some things versus don't aggravate this against an FCS opponent that you're very capable of throwing Michael Van Buren out there who has played big-time games, like not a guy who's just played FCS throwaway games. Like, how do you balance that? I say this, like, ideal scenario, let him play for the first half. If evaluate in the locker room, regardless of the lead, as long as it's comfortable, regardless of the lead, like now that we know there's an injury, don't try to push this into the third and fourth quarter. We've got to see him establish this. I'd like to see he's establishing a rhythm maybe in the first and second. Third and fourth, let him rest. But I do think there is a sense of where he does need to get some type of rest to get comfortable. But an injury like that Kelly kind of alluded to doesn't really get better other than just on its own over time.
But at the same time, he did say, because a lot of people have said this on the message board as well as, it's not something he can make worse or anything like that. But Brian Kelly did say he kind of needs that bye week. Like he's kind of aiming for that bye week to a degree to be like really like 100% at that point. Well, okay, just take, it doesn't have to be a bye week this week, but it can be kind of a lighter week this week if that is the case, and rest. While it may not, completely heal him, it doesn't hurt not to throw X amount of passes on a Wednesday or a Thursday and then a Saturday. I think, to me, to answer the question, rest is more important than rhythm to Garrett Nussmeier right now. He is a fifth-year player that can make all the throws when healthy, that understands the offense. He might make a brain fart or two because that's just what he does. But that's not a result of, like, the interception he threw against Florida was not a result of the injury. So
bad
it's just
yeah.
I prioritize his health over rhythm of the offense because ultimately they need to go into this game saying we're going to run the ball for 250 yards. Like that should be the approach anyways. So I want Garrett Nussmeier, don't even move your upper body. Be in a whole upper body cast for like 4 days.
So you'd be cool with him not even playing.
At this point, last night, I was of the belief that it's like, get him some reps. I don't think the offense is good enough to just sit. But, dude, I think the offense has much bigger problems than Garrett Nussmeier. I think they need Nuss to be 100% if they're going to, first of all, beat Ole Miss on the road. And then second, like, if Nussmeier underthrows a 40-yard pass against Ole Miss, that's a huge deal. Yeah. So they need him healthy. I think rest is more important than trying to just find a rhythm at this point.
Now that we know what the injury is, and we can kind of, like you said, hypothesize why certain things were managed the way they were, and I think it's also an eye-opening, by the way, thing that for fans and even certain media members, you don't know everything that's going on. And Kelly did kind of allude to that. So the people who are ready to, light the bonfire.
And I think it was smart of him not to say it before Florida. Like, you definitely don't say this before. You don't go to Florida being like, yeah, Nussmeier can't really throw the ball 50 yards down the field. You didn't say that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, you definitely wait until the Southeastern week if you're going to say it at all.
he even said post game, Bruni, that, or I should say Monday, and I wrote about it today. Like he even said, we can throw the ball 50 yards down the field. We don't have to, and we don't need to. And I think that we don't need to was probably more indicative of the health of Garrett Nussmeier rather than we're as confident as we are in our defense and special teams, which they are. And that's, look, that should be able to carry you enough through the game. It might not be a 55-10 drubbing that a lot of people want to see, or as Kelly said on Saturday night, a 70-0 game. But I do think it can be something where it's like it's in command. And I'll add this, we'll move on to the mailbag. There is an aspect of this, and maybe I'm getting too deep into the weeds of, I kind of want to see what Michael Buren looks like. Like, I really kind of do, because you didn't get the chance to play him against Louisiana Tech. Barring injury that would put Nussmeier out of the game, you really only have this game and probably Western Kentucky to where you could play him. And so that's his audition, really, right? Like, out, and they're going to do stuff in practice, but that's his audition for next year. And also, too, I want to see him because what if the injury does worsen? What if something happens? Like maybe that's just my preference, but I'd like to see.
No, this
I'd
should
like
be
to see Michael Van.
even if Nussmeier was 110%, this game, and I tried telling people this before Louisiana Tech game, where everybody said it was going to be 70-0 in that game, and I mean I wasn't far off. I think I predicted 41-6, but usually, like, we've seen every team in the country, struggle to a degree with like those teams, Ohio State and Ohio, right? This past week, I was like, the Southeastern game is going to be the game that people think Louisiana Tech was supposed to be. Like, this is going to be the game where you invite all your family out and the third stringer runs out there and plays for like 8 snaps. Like, this is the game where that happens. Even if Nuss was healthy, this is where you see Michael Van Buren and probably Colin Hurley.
Be Colin Hurley's college debut opportunity, correct? That's right.
Let's do it. Yep, I will be. I'll be yelling for him from the press box.
You'll be yelling for him. I like that. Nuss's injury, interesting to obviously talk about. We'll see what the players, as we're recording this, players are talking with the media. And then Kelly will have his media conference call tomorrow. And that's something that will be interesting as well, to kind of see how he navigates that as questions beyond the LSU media. And then Thursday as well. I don't imagine – you think he's going to be on the injury report?
No.
I wouldn't. I don't think he is.
Now, if he is, it's going to just be
probable.
I don't think he will be.
I don't know the rules. Like, if he has to be on there.
Yeah, I don't know the rules either. Because can you just on Saturday just be like, oh, he's not playing?
Well, okay. And not trying to poke fun. Maybe we need to go to our friend Billy Embody. People were kind of accusing Lane Kiffin of doing that this past weekend with Austin Simmons.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So,
but wasn't he questionable? Wasn't Austin Simmons questionable going to the game?
I don't know, but I saw on social media that apparently he didn't end up on I guess it's the Saturday morning.
The Saturday one?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Or he ended up as probable on there and then just didn't play.
Well, I'm saying you can put him on the Saturday report. Just put him on Saturday, put him out. But I don't know if you have to report that on Wednesday, Thursday.
No idea. That's why we're not in the SEC office. So
we
before we dive into the mailbag, I want to tell you about our friends over at Game Time there as well. Make sure you use code Tigers. I don't know what I was about to say. Tigers. Use code Tigers. Leave that in there, by the way. Use code Tigers for $20 off your first order. That's what I got confused. I was saying Tigers and 20, trying to say at the same time.
There you go.
Your first use, it's a great deal, whether it's concerts, whether it's a comedy club, whatever it is, sporting events, LSU games. Use that code. It helps us. It helps our fans and friends over at Game Time there as well. Okay, question time. The first one on the docket. Bruni, I feel old. I literally just had to take my phone and go like this. You
gotta make the text bigger on your phone. How big is the text on your phone? Is it bigger than the default?
Well, you sent a picture of it, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, but still,
it's Times New Roman 12. J87-25. He goes, first question, Matty B, after a big LSU win, what's wrong with the LSU offense? And then how does LSU make sure that Deshaun Spears sees the field more? Well, that could be a whole pod. What's wrong with the LSU offense?
The first question is a shout out to our good friend Michael Cobble for asking what's wrong with the offense right after a big win. So I did want to throw that in there to give him credit on a good joke there. But I do think the second part is interesting. How does LSU make sure Deshaun Spears is on the field more? I don't think he needs to be. And I think that's going to be a hot take. I think everyone's like, oh, this guy needs to be on the field X amount of snaps. what he does exactly in that role is the reason why he just had the game that he had. And that's not to say he can't do more. That's not to say he can't play 35 snaps in a game. And that's not to say he shouldn't even be on the field more than 9. But he is in the game on 3rd and longs or obvious passing situations to play dime and go cover like an entire half of the field or go see where the quarterback's eyes. I'm going right there and I'm going to go make a play. That's what he's on the field to do, and he does it incredibly well. It feels like it was almost tailored. Like he's the perfect dime package corner or a defensive back. He's the perfect guy to where you can play single high with him or you can just use him as a robber, and he's going to go make a play because he's so long. He has great instincts, great hands. I don't think he needs to be out there like manned up in the slot or, doing anything like playing like AJ Halsey. I think he is doing exactly what he needs to do.
Yeah, I'm with you. Just echo that sentiment. I think that you're between Cooley and Halsey, like you really kind of have to try to poke holes to try to find something wrong with them at this point. And it creates a good situation. You have 3 starting caliber safeties on this roster, and that's great. And he built confidence, like you mentioned, in that role this past weekend. The only thing, and someone asked me this, they're not on the board, which they should be, but they asked me this. They said, is there a scenario where Spears could play the star role if they ever you wanted to utilize or had to utilize because of depth or injury something? Could he play star if you had to move Perkins into a edge rusher type of role? And I was like, that's interesting because Spears is, we feel like, a pretty good tackler. He tackled well on Saturday night. Hypothetical, but I guess, between him and Jordan Gilbert, I don't know what they do, but I guess they could do that, but that's obviously a hypothetical situation.
No, that's an interesting question. He's definitely better tackling this year than he was last year. He was so tall last year. I feel like it was hard for him to really get leverage at times. But yeah, that situation, I think I said this before the season. If Harold Perkins is not at star, if he is off the edge or at linebackers doing something else, like I just want a 5th defensive back on the field, and I would rather have Deshaun Spears there than Jordan Gilbert. So yeah, I'm fine with that. If that's technically a star, I don't know, but regardless, I would love to have Spears there.
I guess that would technically put you in the dime package.
It would probably just put him at nickel and just roll with it, or move Cooley to nickel, or do whatever you got to do there. But yeah, somewhere.
Isn't it fun to talk about like 3 really good guys though that you have the option? That's
compared to where we were the last 2 years.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, Bryce. Yes, it is.
It's nice. It's nice. Capital City Tiger 21 and C $ Case. I think I'm reading that right. When is the appropriate time to press the panic button for the offense? I'll start off.
Mm-hmm. Are you starting?
Maybe it's too long. I'm thinking.
Okay.
If you halftime of the South Carolina game, that's where I'm going to go. So that's halftime of the South Carolina game. So that's October the 11th.
So we have to wait another 2.5 games. We have to wait like another month before we can press panic.
Because I'll say this: what are you going to learn this week? Okay, like what? Like I don't know. And now we know that Nussmeier is hurt. So that's that aspect.
Okay, yeah. This week, no.
This week. Next week, defensively, I don't think Ole Miss is great. Offensively that's going to be the battle. Their offense versus your defense, and Lane Kiffin versus Blake Baker. There could be a panic button in that game if you can't score 35 points. I don't know if hopefully you don't have to. But if you come out of the bye week at home against South Carolina, who you and I've talked about, they don't have the depth they had last year, especially on the defense. And I'll say this again, and I've said this multiple times. South Carolina led the SEC in undrafted free agents in the NFL, which tells you they had a lot of talent a lot of NFL-type talent on that team that left. So if that's the case, Bruni, you get to halftime and you have 10 points or 7 points. At that point, I'm like, okay, you're coming out of a bye week. You've had 2 weeks to prepare for this team. I think that for me would be hitting the panic button. Maybe that's too long for people. I don't know what to necessarily expect out of Garrett Nussmeier in 10 days and 11 days at this point because of this injury and how much Brian Kelly talked about. We've got to get to the bye week. So I guess I'm giving that a pass. Probably shouldn't, but I am.
I think to a degree you're right. Like that is the point of no return panic button to me. The one that
The
you're
South Carolina game.
yes.
Okay.
If that is the one where I know they have Dylan Stewart, and I've watched South Carolina. I actually didn't watch them play against Vanderbilt, so I don't know if you were able to catch that one at all or not. I think that was at
It
the same
was.
time as LSU something.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, I didn't watch that one. I watched them play Virginia Tech, who is atrocious now. But
Mhm.
I was like, yeah, this is literally just Dylan Stewart and friends just showing up on the field and trying to get stops.
Yeah.
And so I think like that game after a bye week at home, like you said, zero excuses at that point not to be putting up some points because you are now at the point of no return.
You're halfway through the season.
If you cannot score on South Carolina at home, you will not score on most teams that you play. And it's
Yeah.
if you're not hitting explosives, you're never going to explode. If you can't run the ball, I don't have confidence you're ever going to run the ball. So that's the point of no return. That might be the right answer in terms of actually pressing it, but my hand will start hovering over it against Ole Miss because I don't, like you said, I don't think Ole Miss is a good defensive team, and you have now a get right game, Southeastern, a game where you can rest people, you can get comfortable. There definitely have coaches already preparing for Ole Miss here.
Mhm.
Like there's really no excuses for you not to be putting up 28 plus points here against Ole Miss. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
If they put up 20 points against Ole Miss, I might slam the panic button myself.
We'll bring one to Oxford, by the way. The old
Yes.
commercial, the panic button.
Yes.
I'm with you.
It's like the Staples button.
Yeah.
Yeah, except panic button.
I'm with you. I guess I'm just giving a pass. I've probably changed my tune in the past 24, 48 hours because of this injury news.
Yeah.
And so it's like if you're seeing that and he's still not good to go, then in the back of my mind, I'm always gonna have the hope, right? I'm gonna be drinking the hopium that well, he's not right. So once he gets right, if it's still like this, that's the big issue. But to your point, he's not the only problem. So if that offensive line looks like trash on against Ole Miss, then that maybe it is enough to slam the panic button.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be really interesting, that Ole Miss game. I don't know what do you think the spread's going to be for that?
I'll tell you.
Oh, is it already out? Like, do our good friends at BetMGM have it? Like, I was going to guess. Go ahead. I was going to
go ahead.
guess
I'm looking.
Ole Miss, like, it's probably got to be close to a pick 'em, but I would guess Ole Miss minus like 2 right now. 3 maybe. I don't know if it's out right now, but that would be my guess.
It doesn't look like BetMGM has selected one quite yet.
It's okay, BetMGM. That's all right. But yeah, like I'm curious. That game's gonna be so interesting. If LSU can win that game and get to a bye at 5-0, there will be no panic button talk for a long time.
No, there won't be. I guess. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you to a certain extent. It would just be extremely disappointing if you came out and you roll into that. I mean, I'll just say this: you're probably going to hear some boos if you have 10 points at halftime of the South Carolina game.
For sure,
you're going to hear some boos.
Well, especially if they had lost to Ole Miss.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if you lost Ole Miss, but this is what we talked about on the podcast that'll never see the light of day. I expect more, so I still would be disappointed if I was a fan, and even if you did beat Ole Miss. But at that point, like you said, it's October the 11th. You're right in that sweet spot of where there's 5 data points to tell you who you are. At that point, you can still evolve, and we have a question about that, I think, next. But you can still evolve. But there are a lot of data points to show you kind of maybe just who you are at that juncture of the season, too. So it'll be interesting to see. But good question. Good question. That next question was a nice little segue. JD the Tiger asked, do you think as the season rolls along, by the way, I cannot wait to see how much you put into the banner here for this one. Long question. He goes, do you think as the season rolls along, we see the offense become more effective, similar to the 2019 defense, getting steadily better and really coming together at the end of the season? Or is this a situation where what we see now is what we'll see in 2 months? Look, I believe in the adage that teams are allowed to evolve and devolve over the course of a season. That you can get better. You can also start hot, and maybe that was a fluke. In terms of what we have seen through 3 games, I'll put my vote in right now. I think it will get better. I don't know how good it'll be, but I do think it'll be better in these first 3 games. So I'll keep it short and sweet. That to me is where I sit. I know it's not a very clear answer, but I think it's going to be better. But there's a lot of things that hinge on, what does that even look like? Like how much better would that be?
I mean, I think it will get better. Like we said on Sunday, I just have too much faith in Garrett Nussmeier and these receivers that they won't figure it out. The more disappointing part will be the run game, which I don't know how much better that will get. It will be so disappointing if we look up at game 10 and this is still the lowest, the least amount of rushing yards in the SEC. Like they still can't run block for anything. Like I don't know how much better they can get. I mean, besides changing the personnel. And that doesn't even guarantee you anything because obviously they have whole new personnel this year compared to last year and it's still the same. So I do think they will get better because, again, I believe in the passing game. But, damn, if they can't run the ball, it's hard.
It'd be a waste of a season. I'll say
it severely handicaps you in what you can and cannot do on the field. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm positive, but we'll see.
I just don't know how good. I
mean, they're 61st in. I just wrote a story. ESPN has some advanced metrics. They're 61st in offensive efficiency. They're 5th in defensive efficiency per this metric. I mean, there's no way they end the year at 60 in offense, right?
The question then becomes: can you field a top 30 offense and a top 10 defense? And I want to say that they did a study last year. There was one team that finished outside of that in the top 12, and that was Indiana, I believe, and maybe SMU.
Yeah.
If you can get top 30, top 10, you've got a good shot at being one of the 12 teams in the playoff.
Yeah.
So I think it's what you have to shoot for.
Sure.
J Flag, he asked, after Durham's 50-yard run to end the game against Florida, do you expect us to use more heavy personnel packages in the run game moving forward? That play was blocked to perfection. Jack Pyburn essentially played H-back, fullback on that play. Look, man, I've used this word multiple times, especially in the red zone. I think there's a desperation to figure something out other than throwing it up to Trades Green, so why not? I think you have to. I think you're at a point where you have, and it might be crazy to say after 3 games, you have to find a way to do that. But Bernie, let's be real. This hasn't just been a 3-game sample size. It's been since Brian Kelly stepped on campus, and you got bailed out by Jaden Daniels for 2 years, and this year you could be getting bailed out, obviously, by Trades Green. And last year you were bad at it. Like you couldn't do this. So why not? I mean,
I agree.
I'm going to say this. I'm not trying to be funny about it. Until he left the program, I would have lined Sadir Mitchell up at fullback and pushed. I mean, seriously, Bo Bordelon has thrown on the 89 jersey last year and done some things for you as kind of that blocking weapon. Mm-hmm. Pyburn, it's not completely unheard of. So I say do it, man. If it works, who cares what it looks like? Get the ball in the end zone. Get 6 points when you're, inside the 10-yard line.
Or just get 4 yards on a run. I will take – my bar is so low for this offense to run the football. I would 100% line up in the damn full house back there. I don't care what it looks like. They need to get Jack Pyburn on the field, put whoever wants to run block, whoever wants to run through someone's face, put them in the backfield and go run the ball. Yeah. That I for a long time, I don't want to say for a long time, but for last year and maybe the years before that, a lot of it was, just people. Would you see this in the NFL and everything oh, how are you going to run the ball in the shotgun? There's ways to run the ball in a shotgun, obviously, because so many people do it effectively. LSU does not know how to do it effectively.
Yeah.
So you got to try something else at this point. You don't have a lot of what the element of the shotgun run game is that you have a quarterback that can also keep it and has some threat with his legs. You don't have that. You have a quarterback with a hurt torso. You have a quarterback with tendonitis in his knee. You don't. You have Peyton Manning back there. Line it up and run the ball. Just put whoever back there wants to. Just run the ball with some fullbacks. You got to start going and try to be out physical teams because you're not. The 5 guys up front are not out physicaling anybody. And I know that's not a word, but you're not pushing anybody around. So, yeah, go do whatever you got to do.
I could be wrong here. This is going to show that I'm not paying attention. No, he is here. Giovanni Pearson's still here. Like,
Yeah.
line him up. Like, I'm where you are. Like, I'd go on that roster. I'd go out to practice and be like, all right,
Oklahoma
if
drill.
I don't care if you're a freshman. Yeah, yeah, big cat drill. You seen those videos that Shea used to post 20 years ago? Yeah, it's crazy. Like let's see that, man. No, to a point, like go out there and say, hey, I don't care if you're a freshman. If you're cool with burning your redshirt year, we need you, and we need you to come block and be a part of this. No, I mean, full house, heavy personnel. Like just do something because teams don't respect you. They don't. Like the amount of 3-man fronts that we've seen already against LSU, they don't respect you. That 3-3 stack, like they don't think that it's not only they don't think you can run the ball, they don't think your offensive line is good enough to even get to the second level. And they're not. Like, I want y'all to know that Bruni and I sitting next to each other in the press box. He about had a heart attack watching one of the plays, and Caden Durham tried to bounce it outside of the right side. I think it was Caden Durham. And they blitzed. And like 2 offensive linemen whiffed, and I think was it a 3rd and 1 play? You remember what I'm talking about?
That. Yeah, I don't remember.
It made you sick. It made you sick. No, I'm with you. Do whatever's possible. Figure it out because you got to have something.
I
was talking goal line. Bruni just wants you to pick up 4 yards from your own 36.
2nd and 8. Bring them in. Bring them in. Go run for 4 yards.
You know what I still can't get past, though, is that first drive where you pick up 6 yards and it's 2nd and 4 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you throw 2 passes, including an out route to your running back in double coverage and don't do anything else. It's like, oh, geez.
Amazing.
Speaking of the run game, RHCP 1993. Neither of us were born then. Why aren't we seeing more Harlem Berry? Does it come down to as simple as that? I don't know.
They trust Juwan Johnson. Because it's not.
Whether you agree or not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody in that building thinks that Juwan Johnson is a better runner than Harlem Berry. I don't think anybody thinks he's more explosive than Harlem Berry. There might be an element to where Garrett Nussmeier is more comfortable with Juwan Johnson next to him than Harlem Berry. And that's not a slight to Harlem Berry or anything like that, but that is like just Juwan Johnson was in the quarterback room for a lot of the year next to him. Juwan Johnson knows the protections. Juwan Johnson knows maybe some audibles. Like there's a lot of different things that we don't know, what the difference is between these two guys, because I can't figure out anything else because it's not an athletic thing. And that's not even a shot to Juwan Johnson because we know how awesome an athlete he is. But Harlem Berry was the number 1 running back in the country, and we know what he can do. I think it still would be disappointing if we go the whole year and Harlem Berry like burns a red shirt, but only gets like, I don't know, 30 carries.
Yeah, I'm with you. 2 years ago, we sat in the situation with Caleb Jackson, and I think we've all come to the realization now that he has some deficiencies in his play that don't allow him to see the field. And for Harlem Berry, it's not a vision issue. It's not his athleticism. I think, honestly, his athleticism can bail him out of the situations if he did have those deficiencies, maybe more so than Caleb Jackson could. The only thing I can think of is what you said, is they're more comfortable, and Frank Wilson and Brian Kelly are very particular about the running backs being able to understand more than just taking the football and running. And so, you know what? Maybe that's got to be it. Like, we're completely speculating here because I'm with you. There's not and like I said, no shot at Juwan Johnson. Harlem Berry's just that special of an athlete to where that's the only way I can make sense of it.
I mean, we saw this last year with Caden Durham. The difference was Caden Durham wasn't on the roster ahead of Caden Durham last year. Like, you didn't have that alpha back, that clear guy that was running back 1 last year. So Caden Durham, game 3, gets carries, looks good. Oh, let's keep giving him the ball. This time Harlem Berry gets the ball, looks good. Well, we got Caden Durham here. Let's slow down a little. But it's still, I would still love to have him on the field more.
Well, especially as utilized out of the backfield in the passing game. I mean, good God.
Yeah, incredible receiver.
Mm-hmm. I mean, all I know is when I play EA, I just put him on a Texas route every single time and let him cook. So
that's why you are not winning games.
I got to play, by the way. Go Tigers!
You have the whole season. You played 2 games of the season. Did not play anymore.
Yeah, we're gonna play. Don't worry.
Okay.
Maybe play Friday night. Go Tigers! 5280. We are sadly a quarter of the way through the season already. To get where we all want to go, what are some of the biggest keys to focus on these next few weeks? Run the football, get healthy with Nussmeier. That's essentially all I have to say. Defensive, I think you're unreal. Chadwick might be one of the best punters in college football right now with what he's done. You to this point, like, you just look really good. Like, so I think it's, he has to get healthy, and you've got to figure out, because Bruni, being real, like, once Nussmeier gets healthy, this passing game is going to be fine, right? Like, they're going to be fine. So it comes down to offensive line and being able to run the football, which I've said this multiple times. It's not that you can't run the football because your backs aren't good enough. It's the offensive line. So maybe the biggest key is, who's going to be your right tackle coming out of the bye week? Is it Weston Davis, or is it Carius Kern, or is it Ori Williams? I mean, like, who is it? You got to figure that out. You have to know who that is post bye week. I'd like to know next week going into Ole Miss, but who we'll see.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's sorting out the offensive line. That's who should play and who's going to play on your offensive line. Who should be the starting right tackle? Paul Banga hasn't been bad by any, like, hasn't been as bad as last year. The run blocking was still not good enough to this point, which, again, maybe it's a scheme issue, maybe it's a coaching issue, whatever it is. Josh Thompson's been okay. Like, I don't think he hasn't been atrocious. He's been okay.
But he hasn't been great.
Yeah, he's been okay. You gotta get Braylon Moore healthy. Tyree Adams been fine. He's been good. So
yeah.
Tyree
Adams is kind of unfair. He's been good. He's just replacing a 3-year starter that was a top 10 pick.
He's not Will Campbell.
Yeah, but he's been good. Like, honestly, he's been pretty good. We haven't talked about him, so I guess that's the point where he has been good. Yeah. So I mean, I know that was simple answer there, but that's pretty much where we sit. MB21, he says, looking at the next 4 SEC games, I like this one. Yeah. At Ole Miss, home against South Carolina, at Vandy, home against A&M. Which game are you most worried about the most? I'm going to take this. I'm taking the back 2. At Vandy and home against A&M. Those are the 2 that make me the most nervous out of those 4. And I didn't say that preseason. I'm saying that now.
So if you had to rank them, least or most worrisome to least worrisome.
A&M at home, at Vandy, at Ole Miss, home against South Carolina.
South Carolina's 4 for me.
You mean home against South Carolina?
I'm sorry, home against South Carolina.
That's the least. That's the least concern.
Damn, dude, Vanderbilt might actually be good.
Because this is what I said this on the radio today, Bruni. Like, what if you enter into a situation where that's a noon 11 a.m. kickoff? Dude, Diego Pavi and them, regardless of what you want to say, they keep hitting you. And
they show up ready to play.
If you don't show up ready to go, and this team through 3 games has started slow, I don't know, Bruni, if that's the question. I don't know if they can come from behind double digits with the way the offense is playing right now. So if you're not ready to do that, buddy, he's going to keep punching you in the mouth over and over again. And he's going to tell you about it on the way by.
Yeah, Vanderbilt actually being good has thrown a wrench in this because, most obviously when the SEC split up the schedule, it was like, all right, put Vanderbilt on one side, put Mississippi State on the other side. And those will be your free wins. Congratulations, everybody. Well, now Vanderbilt's actually good. And I was going to put them 3rd on this hypothetical list, but I don't think you can. I just that they're going to be I don't know what their schedule is coming up, but I'm assuming they're still going to be ranked whenever they play. Yeah, how many they have 3 games before that? Even if they go 2-1, they're going to be ranked still.
They're at home versus Georgia State, home versus Utah State. Okay. Then they go to Alabama. And bye week, host LSU.
That's tough. Yeah, they'll be ranked.
Coming off a bye week too?
Yeah, they'll be ranked. Hell, they might be Bama for all we know. Okay, I'm going to stop stalling. South Carolina 4. A&M 3. Vanderbilt 2. Ole Miss 1.
Now, is this your Texas roots coming out that I'm seeing right now? Or do you really not? Does the home field make that much of a difference for you?
The home field makes that much of a difference. No, it does. It definitely does. Like, that is I think I've said it before. It's in my head, it's a 4-point swing. It's a 4-point advantage. I know most people do 3 points for really big home field. In my head, it's 4. for LSU in Tiger Stadium. So I think, and like you said, that Vanderbilt game, just now the more I think about it, it scares me a little bit more. And Ole Miss, like they might be dogs in that game. Ole Miss might be the only game they're actually betting underdogs in that group, and I just don't feel comfortable like with this defense has been great. We've talked about it at length. It's still Lane Kiffin. They still are not going to be an easy win on the road.
Well, let me say this too. Ole Miss doesn't have the team they had last year, right? Which was, I'll just be real with you. Look on paper, probably the most talented team in the country outside of Ohio State in terms of what they had. Like that roster was loaded.
Yeah.
Caden Lee's a good football player, and he destroyed LSU last year. They had a D2 quarterback from Ferris State light it up this past weekend against Arkansas, who's not very good, but that's why Lane Kiffin got 6 quarterbacks in the portal and 12 running backs. The one thing is, I can tell you for sure, is that Lane Kiffin is not 1, not 2. I think he's 3 tiers ahead of any offensive coordinator you've faced yet. He's way better than Garrett Riley. And Bruni about had another heart attack today watching that Florida game back and their decision-making offensive play calling wise. So I don't care. I'm telling you, you have a guy that knows how to do a lot with not so much. They have some stuff, maybe not as good as last year. So maybe I'm crazy. I put that as my number 3 game because I went A&M 1, Vanderbilt 2, Ole Miss 3.
You can put those 3 in any order to me. I'm not that mad.
This defense is nasty. Yeah. It's nasty. So I don't know, man. It's that, but that's kind of to that person's question, that's kind of your make or break, right? Like I know you still have Oklahoma and Alabama, but if you want those games to mean something,
yes,
you got it. This 4-game stretch is
you gotta go 3-1.
Bare minimum.
Well, if you go 3-1 in that, then you're 7-1.
Those games 7-1 going into Bama.
You gotta go 3-1 in this stretch. Very doable.
And I hate to talk like this because you probably have room for error for one more loss.
Yes.
So you have to split Oklahoma, Alabama.
Correct. I mean, obviously, ideally, you win all 4 of them. Cool. But, that's a lot of – it's hard. A&M, Vandy, Ole Miss. Like, those are all ranked games here. Physical 2 of them being on the road. I'm just
the Vandy thing. So I didn't get to watch the game live. Went back and watched it, and obviously Lenora Sillers going out of that game changed the complexion. Vandy is very physical, very very physical. I don't know if they're too deep in terms of the depth is there. That game scares me, man. If it's an 11 a.m. kickoff in Nashville, sleepy Nashville, where the stadium's a third of the size of yours, and I don't know, man. That kind of makes me nervous. LSU. I saw some people on the board today. LSU fans need to travel. They really do, and I know they will. So let's go. I believe we're on our final 2 questions.
Serious one.
Come on, man. I was very serious. Where would you 2 personally rank LSU if you had your own polls? Bernie, I tweeted this the other day. I don't know if you saw it. I tweeted my top 12 teams.
I don't remember it, though.
My top 12 teams were this. I'll just go ahead and read it for you.
Go ahead.
I had Ohio State, Miami, Georgia, LSU at 4, Oregon 5, A&M 6, Oklahoma 7, Penn State 8, Georgia Tech 9, Iowa State 10, Florida State 11, Ole Miss 12. So those are my top 12 teams. So in that I had LSU 4. Now, this isn't the AP poll, so I'm telling you a lot of this for me is based off of what you've shown me. To this point. That's why I've got Penn State so low because I don't feel like they've played anybody, but I still kind of believe in some of the talent that they have. And I don't think you can ignore what some of the other teams do. Tennessee was that's who I battle with putting in there because I still think they're a really good football team. But that's what I went.
I'm going to go – this is off the top of my head. Do not quote me on this. If I was an AP
voter,
on a
podcast, so people will, but that's fine.
This is not how I would do things if I was an actual AP voter here in terms of just doing this on the fly, writing this on a sticky note. I'm gonna go Ohio State 1, Georgia 2. I thought Georgia in that game.
Gunnar Stockton's a dog, dude.
They're balanced on offense, defensively. Obviously Tennessee scored 21 in the first 3 drives, and then all of a sudden it was like, okay, Georgia's back. Ohio State, Georgia, Miami, Oregon, and then I'll put LSU and Penn State.
So we both have them as a top 5 team. You had
Yeah,
them. The biggest difference is you and I have Oregon behind LSU. You have them ahead.
That's a scary Oregon team.
They played Mary Mother School of the Blind, and they beat up on an old man named Mike Gundy.
Do not disrespect Mike Gundy. He's gonna find this. He's gonna find this.
Terrible, Bernie.
He's gonna come for you. He's gonna
Which
find
is so
you.
sad.
And he's
so sad that they're that bad. But
he's gonna find
no,
this.
I hear you.
Yeah, that group. Yeah. After that, I'd have to think about it because Florida State probably or something. A&M, Oklahoma. I'll tell you what, Texas A&M or Texas.
Nowhere near my top 12.
Nowhere near my top 10 personally.
Yeah.
Just I don't know what people are looking at to have them 8th still in the polls. Like, good God. Oklahoma actually won a game that mattered. A&M won a game that mattered. Texas has looked terrible. So I would have Tennessee over Texas right now. I mean,
to me, I've said this, the only team, and I know we're kind of getting off tangent here.
That's all right.
But we're keeping it under an hour, so that's fine. Yes. The only team that warrants the top 10 ranking that hasn't really played anybody for me is Penn State. Because I think they've got the talent, like on paper, where you're like, okay, they're probably going to win 9 or 10 games. So it's like, I feel comfortable saying that. Yeah. So I had LSU 4. You had them there at 5. Georgia looked so good. Oh my gosh.
I think that's the top 6, though. I right now at this moment, you can put that 6 in almost any order, and I'd be okay with it. But I think that's the top 6.
Which I think we had similar. I think it was almost identical. Or we had the same combination of 6 teams. Yeah, I should say.
Who'd you have at 7?
I'll tell you here in a second. I got off.
Florida State?
No. 7, I think, because I did move Penn State back. No, Texas is not in my top 12. This was my top 6: Ohio State, Miami, Georgia, LSU, Oregon, A&M.
Okay, A&M.
And then I had Oklahoma 7. And I think you could put A&M, Oklahoma, Penn State in any order. And then for me, 9 through 12 was like they've probably got a marquee win, or they're still surviving off their preseason expectation.
I like it.
Now USF, if they had to beat Miami, top 6 team in the country, best resume in the country.
I would have put them over. I would have put them over LSU.
Clip it, Colin.
If USF had beaten Boise to Florida to Miami,
that honestly might have been fair because they bludgeoned Florida and LSU.
I don't know if that might have put them number 1 at this point.
Give me 2007 all over again, dude. That's what I want to see.
Man, they lost.
Who was the quarterback for 07 USF? God, you remember off the top of your head? I don't remember. No. I'll look it up.
I liked college football when I was 9, but I don't remember.
Well, that's okay. I respect you. Anyways, all right, let's get to the final question here and talk about this because this is important. This is what we came here for. Cage fight. This was asked by Bryce Kuhn on the board. Cage fight. Who wins between Colin and Bruni? Now, I will say, Colin's a new dad, so he's got the dad strength. That has to be taken into account here.
Should we pull a picture of Colin up here?
Yeah, go ahead. Hold on. Get the picture of him shaving his head.
I was gonna say I have a picture of him, like the actual after the math.
I want to see that.
Completely bald. All right, this is on his Twitter, so I'm not blowing up his spot. Hope not. Do I know how exactly to share my screen on this new update? Not really. How's that? There he is after shaving. After losing a bet for our season pick'ems for North Texas, this is what Colin had to do. He had to shave his head complete, and he had long hair at the time. Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's all gone. There he is. He's a Lions fan. Dyed his hair blue. This is for the NFC Championship game.
Respect.
I look like a troll doll.
I will say For people who don't know who this person is,
I
Colin
know,
does
right?
all the graphics and everything for us. A lot of social media work. He does all the social media work and graphics. People have like no idea what I'm talking
I know
about.
we're just showing a random man on the screen.
Colin and Bruni, good friend. Bruni, I guess y'all grew up together, went to North Texas.
Oh, yeah, North
And,
Texas wise, yeah, I didn't grow up together, but yes, close enough. That's right.
Well, you grew up in college. We all
Yeah.
know.
No, he runs our Instagram, our Twitter. Yeah, he does all of the
Bruni
graphics that
versus
you
random
see.
internet guy. Weekly mailbag question. Good Lord, that'd be amazing.
Man, I can't wait to send this to him afterwards. But yes, he does all the graphics and our social media. So shout out to Colin.
And he's a new dad, which
good
shout
pal.
out to him because that's like you got a baby a month old. Yeah,
a little over that. I think it was like August 8, 10 or something like that.
I got you.
All right. Yes. There you go.
That was good. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Bruni's, check out Bruni's Friday Night Lines or whatever Friday lines he's got going on.
Bro, we're cooking 3-0. If I only bet the LSU games, I'd be rich.
If you bet off my daughter, you'd be rich.
Oh, that's another thing. I need to know. I need to know ahead of time. Can you like get the
We record
intel?
on Thursday nights. We record Thursday evenings.
Okay.
So
okay.
We you know what? We'll set up a Patreon.
Wait, what's the game
her.
of the week this week for her?
Well, we were trying to do Auburn, Oklahoma because that's a big one. But my wife wants to stay true to College Game Day because we're trying to pair it to where if LSU gets College Game Day, we want to build this up. She's actually started to pop off on TikTok, like a couple 100,000 views. So,
oh shoot,
yes.
Yo, pretty soon she's gonna be replacing Lee Corso. They're gonna have Pat McAfee up there holding her up on the chair.
Oh yeah. So it's looking like Miami, Florida, is going to be the game that she picks this week. Which
I like that.
We'll see what happens. But hey, we appreciate everyone for tuning in into the Mailbag Podcast. Hopefully Shay will be back next week. He's under the weather. But my name is Bryce Kuhn. That is Matthew Bruni. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Check out, once again, our friends. They're over at Game Time and BetMGM, like we mentioned. They're multiple times. That's where we get all of our lines for. That's where Bruni devises his plays of the week. There as well. You can get up to $1,500 paid back in bonus bets if you don't win on that new player offer. So, Bruni, I appreciate it. You letting me hang out here on the Mailbag Pod this week. Shout out to Colin, random internet troll, blue hair troll, Lions fan. And there you go. Matthew Bruni, Bryce Kuhn. We appreciate you watching. We'll catch you next time here on the Bengal Tiger Podcast.